Welcome. In this project I'm going to make some small boxes. I'm going to use this scrap wood I've got, which is Meranti, 6mm thick, 5cm wide, and they're about 50cm long. I'm going to cut them up using the bandsaw and prepare all the pieces, and I'll show you where I go from there. The bandsaw's not that accurate, so I'm going to use a shooting board to ensure that all these pieces I've prepared are of the same size. And at this stage I'm not totally sure what size boxes I'm going to make, so I find that laying out the pieces gives me an idea what each size is going to look like. This helps me just get a feel for the size of the box I'm going to make. So once I've got a good idea what size box I'm going to make, I can then go back to the bandsaw and trim down the other pieces ready for work. And then obviously I'll take those to the shooting board and make sure they're all the same size as well. And now I've got the pieces cut to size, I'm just going to lay them out. Just double check that everything is looking right and I have no problems. And now I can measure out the pieces for the base of the boxes. I'll take them to the bandsaw, cut them and shoot them in the same way as your side pieces. And I'm going to use these corner clamps to help with the glue up. I'll do a side and an end piece at a time and then glue the two pieces together once the glue's dried. I hope you're enjoying this project so far. If you are, please give me a thumbs up, that'd be great. It'd help the channel grow and help me keep doing more projects. This is a fairly time-consuming way of gluing up these small boxes. If anyone out there has any good ideas how I can do this better, please let me know in the comments. I know I could use tape. A lot of people use tape to glue boxes together, but because this is a butt-jointed small box, I'm not entirely sure that would work without the pieces moving. If anyone has any other channels or other places where they've got information about how to glue up a small box, please let me know. The base pieces that I cut earlier now need gluing together, so I'm going to use these small clamps to do the glue up, and 2 clamps will be plenty for this. And as usual, I've cut everything slightly oversized, and I'm using the shooting board in order to trim everything down to size. This gives a much closer fit to the box rather than going by a measurement. A little bit of sanding on the base of the box and this piece will be ready to glue in. Now I could have made the lids for these boxes in the same way I did the base, but I had these panels that I'd made up previously for another project, and I'm going to use these for the lid even though it will show some joins, but I'm not too worried about that with this project. It's a prototype, and I don't mind the fact that it might have some joins in the timber. And in this case, I'm using up some very small hinges that I've had in stock for quite a long time. It's a nice little project to use these on, as they've not been useful for anything else. They may be a little bit small for the project, but not much. It's very fiddly putting these in. These panel pins are only about 4 or 5 millimeters long. So I'm pushing them in using a magnetic tool and just tapping them very gently to get them in. And the anvil you can see me working on here is a previous project that I've put up on YouTube, so If you go into my playlist, you'll be able to see how I made this one as well. Because the timber I'm using here is only 6mm thick, I need something with a very fine tooth to cut the timber. If I use a normal, say, dovetail saw, even that might be too aggressive for this sort of timber. So a hacksaw works quite well for this work. I haven't decided yet how I'm going to finish these. I may put some oil on or some hard wax, but I'm going to design something to contain these boxes, some sort of frame for it. So that'll be a future build. And the box is now built. So the next stage is just to sand any of the edges, any of the corners, any overhangs, and just make sure everything lines up.